As y'all can tell, I got a very special guest today. Some of you know him as Joe. Some of you know him as Peaches. I know him as both, and I'm the one who gave him Peaches. So here we are, story time, and we got a couple of doozies for you, like how he got his name.
My name is Joseph. I was proclaimed Peaches during the, what was it, 2017.
It was 2017.
2017.
Well, why would you eat peaches with your car keys?
Listen, all right, so if you're a tech, and everybody tech knows, what I'm about to say, when it comes to normal, I guess, behavior, like for us, like I've been working with Pat for quite some time now, and everything we do, it's abnormal, and it's just completely because we want to do it. So it was about 108 degrees over at McKellican Canyon, and it was lunchtime. And the bad thing about McKellican Canyon is there's no cell reception whatsoever. So I'm broke. I'm trying to like stretch out every dollar I have. So my idea of lunch is a sandwich and a can of peaches. All right, that's I don't give a shit. That's my deal. I love my peaches. Anyways, so I was up at the top of the bleachers or the stairs or whatnot.
You were on top of the amphitheater.
I was on top of the amphitheater. We were enclosed by this little tent thing that was covering my sound station. I had Lucy. Who was with us? Lucy. It was Lucy.
That was Victor.
It was Victor. And
Victor
myself.
Ken McGiblets.
McGiblets. Also, hopefully he'll be on the show. Anyway. It was Victor and myself. We were both eating, and I just got finished my sandwich. I don't know what he was eating, something probably, I don't know. So I finished my sandwich, and I pulled out my can of peaches, right? I popped the can on, and my logic is that like, oh man, I forgot my fork. It's in the car, which is like half a mile down the mountain. So I'm like, all right. So I whip out my keys, and I start like, stabbing the peaches. I'm eating and everything, and Pat, he starts making his way up. I'm like, Pat, stop. No, don't walk any further. Go down to my car, grab my fork. And he says, what? Pat, don't walk any further. Go to my car. What? And as he's saying what, he keeps stepping all the way up the stairs.
Well, yeah, that's when it's funny.
So So I tell him, Pat, don't take another step. Please go get my fork, please, and everything. And he can hear me this whole entire time. He's just, what? What? I can't hear you. What?
No hope this is entirely true.
So he's standing about 5 feet away from me. I'm like, Pat, you didn't hear me? He's like, no, I didn't hear you. We were trying to say, listen, man, go. I wanted you to get my fork so I can eat my peaches. All right? I'm hungry. It's been like an 8-hour day. I want my peaches. He looks at me. He's like, oh, why don't you just say something? Motherfucker. All right. So, all right. So he sits down next to me. I whip out. I'm stabbing my peaches. I'm slurping up.
I have never seen anybody attack a can of peaches.
I'm stabbing my peaches. I'm eating my peaches. I'm like heated because it's hot. Like everybody's uncomfortable. Everybody's mad. It's my knife. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's over there by your left leg.
So I'm eating my peaches and everything. So I forget what happened. What joke did you make? You made something.
I was doing an impression of a certain cast member.
Oh, we can't do that. Is that too racist?
I can't.
Oh, well, it was a racist joke. Pat, he likes to tell racist jokes. Anyway, there's a certain gentleman who works with us. He has a very, pronounced way of speaking. And if he can just, I really appreciate if he can, he's not going to do the impression, but the impression's spot on. It's dead on, all right? So I'm eating my peaches, right?
It's going to be good.
So I'm eating my peaches, right? And I can't even do it. So he does the impersonation of this individual.
Well, no, because while you're eating and being around the cast as long as I have for the 2 summers, I started picking up on their habits and their voices and their articulation. And I started doing the particular cast members. Really? Really? You're going to drink right now in the middle of this?
I mean,
you should know better.
I know. Fuck. All right, go ahead.
And as I start doing the impression, Joe eats his peaches with his keys. And I did it spot on at one point where he started to choke on one of his peaches. And he closes his mouth to calm the choking. And he coughs. But it shot out through his nose.
So I got fucking half a peach sticking on my nose. I'm looking at Victor and Pat, and like they're on the floor losing their shit, right? And they're having the ground all the time. I'm in fucking pain because I got peach syrup going down my esophagus and like up my nasal cavity and everything. It's fucking hot. I'm like my eyes. I'm starting not to cry. I have this peach hanging out on my nose. I'm just right. I'm suffering while these guys are laughing their butts off, right? Anyway, so I finally and it shoots out.
You think I'd learn?
That's why they call me Peaches.
That's why I call him Peaches. To be fair, that was better than what Mo used to call you. Exactly. You can't even remember now because Peaches stuck.
Oh, okay. All right. So there seems because I've been keeping up with this channel, BT Dubs. Subscribe, share with your friends. There's a lot of good content, especially if you're in theater, any aspect of theater. You know, this is live experience from both the tech and the performing arts. You know,
That's why I have John.
John, good guy, John.
Yeah. Because he's the performer aspect.
Yeah.
As he's behind the camera, try not to laugh.
So there seems to be this ongoing persona that we keep talking about. This gentleman named Moy. I met.
Persona? No, he's real. He's not a figment of our imagination.
I want him to be a figment of my imagination because the stuff he pulls is abnormal. Like one time, like I met him like within a month. Like he started working at EPCC, and this is the kind of guy, man. He works at EPCC. Next thing you know, he's my manager. All right, I was there first. All of a sudden, he started telling me what to do, and next thing you know, it just the management paradigm just kind of shifted. Anyways, like at one point or another, like I moved into this brand new apartment in the Northeast. I tell him, hey, I need a ride. I didn't even tell him where my address is. He just pulls up to my apartment. I don't know how he knew where I live. He knows where I live. And, apparently he knows all my weaknesses and strengths and everything, so he uses that against me. Just he's a lovable guy. I love him to death, but he's fucking dangerous. Anyway.
Really? Because I usually just hand him a rock star to leave me alone.
Anyway, so what were they saying about Moy?
Everything.
I don't remember. So Moy,
Well,
EPC.
Oh, okay. We could talk about Diagolith.
How long ago was that? That was like 2-3 years ago.
That'd be 3. That had to be 2018. That had to be about 2015. That had to be about 2015.
Yeah, that was the second year I was at EPCC. So Diaglyph was a one-man show that local performer Sean Diaz, shout out to him, good actor, wonderful person. Anyways, he was doing this one-man show, Diaglyph, and our dear friend Moy was the one who.
Well, I don't know how. Well, because he started working at EPCC, and you just kind of had to help him with it. Moy, you see the grimace on his face. Moy just kind of asked me if I would help him, and that was a 3-day no sleep bill.
Yeah, you took the brunt work because I was always at EPCC. You guys stayed up anyway. So yeah, Moy has a very special way of asking people for help. Primarily, he just says, "Hey, show up at this place at this time and bring these things." So that's what I did, and actually, that's when I got this tattoo.
Yes.
Okay, so like I show up. I'm like, was it my first day? Is this my second day?
Second day, I want to say.
All right. Well, okay. So.
Well, because I met you the first day.
Well, I met you the first day, but at EPCC, we were going over the plans on what to build because it was at Via Verde, and it was like a small. It was probably as big as this room.
Box.
It was in the black box. It was about as big as this room. Not, probably about this big. Roughly. And we're going over it. So Patrick, he has his own very machismo. I don't know. He has his very own aura around him. So when I see him, he has his glasses on. He's kind of walking around, just expecting everything. He doesn't really say anything. He's very observant. That's the kind of person he is. I appreciate it about him. And he's very secretive, and he keeps his own stuff to himself, which I appreciate because I too like to think that I'm like that, but not as reserved as he is. But so I see this guy, right, and like anybody who I don't know who's on the stage, I get pissy because like I've worked my way up, and if I see another guy on the stage, I'm like, who's this guy? What's he doing on my stage? So I walk up and I run into Moy first, and I'm like, Moy, who the fuck is this guy, right? He's like, oh no, that's Patrick, and I'm like, oh, that's Patrick. See, Moy comes from both of them come from very, very humble beginnings. Now they came from the El Paso Playhouse. Very
10 years ago this month.
yeah. Wow, congratulations. Wow.
Sure. But
But
that's how long I've known Moy.
yeah.
And I wish I don't. He's in Albuquerque right now, and he's about to finish his undergrad from the conversation we were having. So cheers to him,
Good for you, Moy.
because that's tough.
Yeah.
But I would love to have him on
Oh,
because the stories that, and these are sober stories.
sober.
Sober.
Nothing was inside of us.
I keep looking this way. Sorry, guys. I keep looking this way because John's right there. But yeah, like the stories that we have when we were sober, just doing theater. You know. Yeah, like the time where Moy moved the ladder, and he forgot to check the top of the ladder, which is important, and a hammer fell on his head.
He did that shit to Andrew too one time.
I'm not surprised. There was one time Moy was about to fall off a ladder and grabbed onto my knee.
You told me that. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I bet. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm gonna talk about the time Moy drank moldy tea.
He told me about that. He told me the consistency every time he crunched, and he had to swallow it because there's a rule in theater: the show must always go on, no matter what. You know.
Oh, it went on, dude. There was one time. Moy was in Much Ado About Nothing, right? And he's gonna be so mad. Yeah, he still had long hair at the time, right? And Moy's notorious for either having long hair or short hair that he tries to do into a little point.
He's cute.
Right? Sure. And he still had long hair, and he had, you know, the costume and everything, but one of his boot zippers broke. And he had a cape.
Of course.
So his
Sure.
genius thinking to go on stage was to have the cape like this and walk on. And I was like, oh my god, the Mexican version of Dracula just walked on stage. Because he does this. He does this to hide his boot.
He's so Mexican. Oh my
All
God.
of this to hide his boot, and he's just doing this, and I'm like, wow, that is. But Diaglyph was tough. We segued so much. We forgot to talk about Diaglyph.
I'm really trying not to like let Moy take this over, like he took over both of our lives. Anyways. So, all right, so, you know, I meet him, and because I heard a lot of stories about, you know, him and Pat. Primarily, like, okay, I'm going to segue off again. But one day, it was during Rocky Horror in October, he told me to show up at this place at this time. And it was at the Playhouse. You know, I was going home, I had nothing to do, and he just told me to show up. I thought we were just going to kick it. Next, you know, I pull up to the Playhouse, and I see Pat there, and like, okay, so Pat...
No. It wasn't October. It was December because my semester just ended.
Oh, we were still doing... Oh, you know, we just striked Rocky Horror then. Because it was literally that night. And I remember thinking, I'm going to strike 2 shows in one night.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is that when we struck at the Playhouse?
Yeah.
And that was December.
Okay, so
That was in December. That was December 10th.
That makes sense because I think we extended Rocky Horror. I don't think we would. I think we did. I don't know. Anyways, so you know, I showed up.
Wait, was it Rocky Horror or was it?
It was Rocky Horror.
No.
It was totally Rocky Horror. It wasn't Rent because Moy wasn't working at EPCC during Rent.
Okay.
I was crushed.
Okay, because that's a long extension then, from October to December.
That's what I'm saying because we also did like a midnight matinee, midnight showing.
Okay, because I remember it was December, because I picked up Moy. Because I was doing my final for Anne Frank.
Yeah.
And Moy and myself were on the way to the Playhouse, and he's driving the set design in my car.
Yeah.
And it's a 10-minute drive, and I'm thinking of a light design that way, and we get there, but it was a few days later where it was a Saturday night.
Point of the story, he tells me to show up, so I see this guy, and I really appreciate the preparation Patrick takes in every time he shows up to the theater. Just imagine like seeing a gentleman dressed up in SWAT gear. You know, he's got
his tactical vest.
He's got his tactical vest. He's got his military grade boots. It's like bulletproof gloves and like with like the brass knuckles in them and everything. And like anything you need, he just pulls out of a pocket. Like, dude, I need a lighter. Boom, he's there, done. Most prepared individual I've ever. So I see him, I'm like, oh, this guy's really serious about tech, So I didn't say shit. So anyway, so we literally struck that night for a show, and we literally put up another show by that night at the end.
We struck the Steve Martin show, Picasso at. I can never remember the name of the bar, but it was a show done by Steve Martin. We struck that show, and then we immediately put up It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life. That's right. Like that night, we didn't leave till like 2, 3 o'clock.
No, it was 6 in the morning.
Oh, it was 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh.
If you want the truth, it was about 6 in the morning.
It was about 6 in the morning. All right.
Yes,
So
because they had 6 days to turn around the show because they opened that Friday.
Okay, so that all happened within one night. So the reason why, what was the reason why I was telling this? Oh, so Diaglyph.
Yes.
So literally, so that's where I heard everything from them. But like that was jumping in the future. But like anyway.
I had so much McDonald's. I had so much McDonald's.
Disgusting. So anyway, so for Diaglyph, where we all kind of had our meeting, our tech meeting at the EPCC Forum Theater, and then from there we went to Via Verde and we did the schematics, we took measurements and everything, right? And that show was a nightmare because during that show, like the reason why I was jumping back and forth from both campuses is because I was doing the seasonal dance recital for EPCC. So I was doing sound over here at the same time. I was trying to help out these guys over there and put everything up, right? And around that time was like Friday the 13th, and I got this tattoo on the side of my right elbow. And I remember, like, it was like the second day, Friday the 13th. I walk in.
Yeah, because when the second day when you walked in, like, there was actually a greeting. You just didn't think I was just some schmuck. Like, there was an actual greeting between us.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you have a scab right there. What happened?
So, okay, so this guy.
But it was a legit, like, what happened? You are not.
All right, so yeah, he looks at my arm. He's like, "Oh, dude, what happened? You got a scab right there." I'm like, "No, it's a tattoo. It's my second tattoo. I got it. No, it's for me. It's for me." And Moy, like he's a bigger gentleman, and that's like all muscle. Like he's literally like 10 feet in the air, like working on molding and everything. He literally slides down and like jumps, like glides to me. "Oh, what's that, Joe? What's happening? Oh, that's so cool. Is that a new tattoo? Oh, I think you got a." He scrapes my tattoo.
His stomach starts screaming.
Like in the tech world, you can't cry in front of other individuals because besides branding you a pussy, like you need that callback. If you can't handle like that kind of pain, there's no reason for you to be in tech because you're gonna work long hours. You're gonna get the occasional like nail on the foot, nail on the hand or thumb and everything. So that I had to bite my tongue. I was like, okay, all right. Walked away. Didn't do anything. Went to the bathroom. Had my tears. I washed my thing off and then went back to work. How long did that show take us? Like a week, if
It
any.
took us 3 days.
Okay.
Because
Well, for me, it felt like a week because I kept going back and forth.
there was no sleep because it was Moy, myself, Lacey,
Monica.
and Monica. That was it. Because everybody else was out of town.
That's when we met Victor.
Yes, that's when. Oh, poor Victor.
So, Victor, I love Victor. I worked many shows with him. I have learned to respect this individual because I appreciate the kind of person he is. He makes me laugh my ass off on a daily basis because of him being him.
Yeah.
He walked in. He's come from the background of like being rewarded throughout high school for all of his like lighting designs, this and that, and he won't let you forget it by any chance necessary. So we brought him in. Well, Moy brought him in to introduce Pat, Monica, Lacey, and myself and everything. He was quiet. He was trying to work up, earn his stripes and everything, and he really got a chance to see how everything works and everything. But Diaglyph, that it's like one of those extreme instances of like all the stuff that theater technicians are expected to do within a short time notice.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
It's a good job.
Is it a good job, John?
Yeah.
Product placement. Yeah, we met during Diaglyph, and that was 3 days. And the thing is that you know this, and I don't know if you know this, John, but when you put up sets and you have flats and you have the creases
Oh.
in the flats, like where you see both of them connect. Normally, you would Dutch them, and it takes care of the seams. Well, Moy didn't have time to Dutch the set for Diagolith, so he didn't use painter's tape to cover it up. He used masking tape. A lot of masking tape. Look,
Couple roll masking
it was about 6 rolls of masking tape.
tape.
Just here, and then he would take a piece, and then he would.
Beautiful. Let's keep going.
Yeah, like that was his job. You said you almost killed him with the French doors. Was it for Diagolith?
It was for Diagolith.
You gotta tell that one.
That's actually a funny story in itself. Okay, so like it was a Sunday, and Moy was like, "We need to get this shit done. I need you. You're bringing." All right, whatever. You just buy me cigarettes. I'll be your bitch. I don't give a fuck. That was our understanding. Okay, so he picks me up around like 9 o'clock in the morning, and like Moy, you know, he had his own like kind of like automobile that really resembled who he was, which was like a little Ford Ranger that was red. It was like kind of beaten down because of all the drunk stories it had to endure with Moy. So it matched his personality very, very well. So at EPCC, we went into the storage department and we pulled out these giant French doors, and these things easily weighed
It was a lot.
300-400
And then
pounds.
you had to carry him up 4 flights of steps.
I don't want. Okay, so just to get that on the bed of this little Ford Ranger was a fucking nightmare in its own. All right, so we finally did that. So we're driving, and he at the same time he's texting someone from the Playhouse. And he's driving and he's texting. We have this 400 or 500 pound French door unit in the back that's easily can tip over the truck, right? And he's driving. He's just like, "Hey Joe, text her. I'll be there at 5 o'clock." And I'm there like holding the thing for him. I'm like, all right, let me. I was like, you know, Moy, pull over. You text who you need to text. I'm gonna drive. He's like, okay, all right. And Moy, you know, his brain, his Mexican brain, is able to like. The fact that he can multitask, it's like he can multitask within multitask. You know, it's like multitask, but like it's like a branch of multitasking with him. It's like he's on a whole different level. Okay, so you know, at the same time, he forgets things. You know, it's a simple thing. So I'm lighting a cigarette as I'm walking out. He like, you know, we're both getting out the car door. I'm walking through the front. He's walking to the back. At the same time, it's like straight out of the movie. Like we're talking. We're looking at each other from across the bed, and we're like deep in conversation. Our doors are open. The truck starts driving up, right, and everything. It gets about 10 feet.
To put it in park.
He put it. He forgot to put it up. I think he jumped. He forgot to like go all the way to park. I think he just stopped at neutral. So we're in like mid conversation. At the same time, the truck is rolling down like on the freeway. All right. So it's rolling down with this 400, 500 pound like door unit going down like a busy freeway, and we're like mid conversation and everything, you know. At the certain point, we stop. So we start running. We're like running and everything. He's laughing the whole entire time. I'm freaking out, still trying to light my cigarette and shit. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
John, I'm not even gonna edit this. John, can you get some paper towels? Would you? You gotta. Wow, Rockstar's gonna be mad at you for spilling their drink.
It's that good. It really woke me up. Anyway, so we get in the truck. He's laughing. He thinks it's funny because, you know, his mind's going like a million miles an hour.
Oh, that is pretty funny. Yeah.
Anyway, so the point of the story I'm trying to reach to is, yeah, so we get to the Valle Verde campus. It's closed. No one's there. Not even campus security. So
Really? You got 2 paper towels?
Here,
I got 3.
I'll do it. Thank you.
That works.
Did you just look at the table?
So anyway, my story being is that, you know, we get to the campus, and you know, I'm noticing like, yo, I mean, the max I can lift like on my own is probably, I want to say, pushing maybe 200. I'm talking about just using my body up a mountain of stairs. This guy, he can easily do 3 or 4 by himself. Anyway, but this object is so massive, it's awkward for a lone person to like lift that all the way up the stairs. So he's like, all right, Joe, this isn't gonna fit in the elevator. And when he says that to me, I look at him. The fuck do you mean it's not gonna fit in the elevator? I expected this to fit in the elevator. You know,
The elevator's a 4x4 elevator.
a pack of cigarettes isn't worth taking that up the stairs, right?
Product placement.
So he's like, Joe, calm down, don't be a bitch. We can get through this, all right? So I'm like, okay, all right. Like, I'm getting shaky because it was fucking scary, all right?
Really, or because you haven't had enough Rockstar?
Anyways, so we were able to finagle it through the doors, and like we get it to the base of the stairs, right? And it's like four flight stairs, easy.
4 flights.
Yeah, it's on the 4th floor. All right, so we start walking, right? And it's a bitch and a half. It's a nightmare. All right, so like he's got the back because he's obviously he can handle the majority of the weight. I'm leading in the front, right? And I'm cussing, I'm like screaming in my mind, my butthole's about to fall out of me, and I'm like, I'm trying as hard as I can, right? And we're like, honestly, just the turns were probably the hardest part because we had to like lean
Oh,
in.
because it was such a sharp turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was easy, just like not even. It was horrible. All right,
I'm so glad I didn't get that.
oh my god, see, I'm starting to shake. It was a nightmare. So we put it on top of the rail guards and kind of just leaned it over, so like each of us can maneuver and catch the other part and keep walking, right? The hardest part is just getting it through the doors, all right? So the top doors. So we get it, and like the hardest part was actually me putting down everything, running, opening the door, and coming back. At this point, I'm like, Moy, I gotta open this door. He's like, all right, hurry up. He's just like, hurry the fuck up. He's freaking out. He's tired. So I'm like, all right. So I set it on the rail guard. I go back. This is like within like 2 seconds. It was just like super fast. I go open the door. I kick it open. It's lodged. It's open. Next, but within that 2 seconds, the whole entire 400 or 500 pound French door unit slid down the rail guards onto Moy. So he's like this, and the whole thing's caught on his neck. And I've never seen, besides that moment, Moy has never expressed any sign of weakness or pain or anything. But that you can just see him just fighting it with everything he has. He's just like
He
this.
was fine.
He was like on the verge of like just dying, just flat out. He was just
We
like.
probably just talked to him yesterday. He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. So he's like, Jack, get your stupid freaking out of there. So it's all he's literally carrying this whole entire unit with the help of like I want to say at least 6 or 7 inches, like barely on the railing itself, right? He's got it all. So I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm about to kill one of my best friends. I'm not ready to go to jail. I'm too pretty. So I run over there. I'm like, boy. So I pick it up. He maneuvers himself, and then we just like, fuck it. I don't know how we did. I can't even remember. I think I blocked it out of my memory because it was.
I
Just
blocked
so
some of
stressful.
that out. Not only that, but lack of sleep
Yeah.
and a lot of McDonald's.
A lot of McDonald's.
McDonald's.
So we ended up just sliding it through the doorway. We're done. Boom. Like some of it cracks off, some embrace, and like this is a door unit that has been with EPCC for I don't know how many years. Like back when he was.
I think it was built when I was there.
So it's been there for a long time.
Specifically for one of the shows that I was in.
Okay.
It's the French doors from Charlie's Aunt.
So the thing is that like when you like there's some
It was not. It was not. Those are the French doors from Dracula. When we did Dracula in 2011, those French doors is when they were built.
Get out of here.
No, seriously.
I heard Dracula's really good too.
Yeah. It was. I had a fun time.
So anyway, so there's some units for like props that if you damage, you're gonna get in massive trouble. But at that point, we didn't give a fuck at all. Like we were just like, I almost killed my best friend. Honestly, I don't give a shit. Like part of like the schemes kind of like just tore off, but I went and repaired it and everything. It's fine, guys. EPCC, it's okay. So at that time, like we both were tired. Like I had to get myself together. I smoked like the whole pack right there and then. And boy, he was he walked it off. Honestly, he's just like, I'm ready to go.
I think after that.
Yeah, he felt it.
No, after that is when I cut a text that he needed help.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That's when you came
That's
on.
when I
Okay.
showed up. And
All right.
That was when we were getting everything done. And that's when I found out Moy loves tape.
He loves tape. Not in the fun way, but he loves tape. Anyway, so that is one of the times that I actually put one of my dear friends' life in danger accidentally.
What? He's always putting my life in danger.
Oh, I feel like we evened the scales a little bit. But with him, like whenever he tells a story, he's gonna say like I was mad or like I had an attitude and I did that to him on purpose or something like that. No, like I was scared. I never seen more in pain, and that was just scary. I know. But
I don't know. There was that time his knee went out of place.
oh fuck, man, that guy's a machine. Yeah, and he still like did a whole lighting plot by himself.
He'll be fine.
Oh, what else do you want to talk about? I mean, I could talk about deconstruction.
You good? Awesome. All right. Before I let you talk about deconstruction, is Moy in that or no?
He was.
He was? All right, check this out. I don't know if Moy ever told you this, because when I intend to get somebody back, I'm an incredibly patient person.
He told me some stories
Like,
about
I wait. There was
years. You've waited years.
I waited 1 full year.
Yeah.
I waited 1 full year to get Moy back. And I'll tell it, I was hoping he would be on before I would tell this, but now that I know he watches these, it's going to be fantastic, because then he can show everybody how much of a patient person I am. We were doing a pilot for Amazon, and Moy picked me up, and he didn't know where it was at. You're getting ahead of me. Wait. He didn't know where it was at, so of course we put it into the GPS, and I was like, oh, it's just go this way, it's down Dyer. And he's like, oh, cool, but Patrick, we have to follow the GPS. And I was like, Moy, that might be it right there. And he goes, no, Patrick, we have to follow the GPS. And I was like, Moy, if it's right there and we're going the long way, I will seriously get you back. And he goes, we have to follow the GPS. So the GPS takes us down Dyer, then it makes a right, circles around, and then we ended up at the place that I happened to point at. And I was like, see, man, I told you that. And Moy just looks at me and he goes, Patrick, we have to follow the GPS. I'm a patient person. And I looked at him and I went, I will get you back for this. I don't care how long it takes. I will get you back for this. One full year later, Moy is doing Night of the Living Dead at the Playhouse.
Oh, I heard that was bomb.
That was a really awesome show. That was a really cool show. And I met him at the Playhouse, and he's like, hey, I need to go to Savers because I need to buy a bunch of clothes that, like, identical clothing. And I was like, oh, here, man, I'll put it into the closest Savers and we'll go. Stop getting ahead of me, man.
It's a good story.
So I put closest Savers into my GPS, and one pops up. I was like, oh, hey, there's one right here. And he's like, all right, cool. So we start driving. And we're getting closer, and I was like, oh, Moy, we have to follow GPS. It says turn here. And he goes, Patrick, is that it? The one right next to the Chicos? I was like, Moy, you have to turn up here. Patrick. And I was like, Moy, yeah, just go, man. I know what I'm doing. Just go. And he starts going up, and then he starts going up, and then when we come back around down, and we stopped, and he's like, look, man, I told you. It's the Sabres right across from the Chicos that I pointed at. And I looked at him and I went, but we have to follow the GPS. He was so pissed off at me because Moy thought I forgot. And I would never get him back because I waited so long. No, I just have that much patience. I waited 1 full year. That's 1 birthday cycle. I waited for that long. He wasn't even mad. Yeah. He was like, wow, I underestimated your patience. So we go into the Sabres, buy some stuff, and I was like, you know what? Let's go to. We went to Chico's after. I just laughed about it. Yeah, it was one of those. It was like, wow. And I was like, yeah.
The reason why I'm so entertained by that story is because the level of pettiness involved, it was miraculous. Like I have such high regards, so much respect for that story. You know, I remember one time I pissed off Patrick, and he's too humble to admit it. And I won't say what I did, but I pissed him off, and he wouldn't talk to me or make eye contact for me for 2 whole weeks. And every time I go home to my girlfriend, like, babe, I don't know, man. I've heard he waits a year, and that's when he strikes. I don't even know if he's still still planning that. You know, I don't know if I don't know, but I'm sure in a year when he pops up back in my life, I don't know if it's gonna happen.
It's okay. Maybe I'll wait around Halloween to get you back.
I don't know. Anyway, so deconstruction.
There you go.
Deconstruction.
I think they've heard enough about Diagolith and the trouble with that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, everybody really enjoyed it who saw it.
Yeah.
They really liked it. The set came out really nice. Moy got an award for it, so good for him.
Good for him. Congratulations, Moy. So behind the gaff, for me was the one that one that pops up most memorable was actually a show, part of the summer repertoire for EBCC. I forget when was it, 2015?
This was sounds about right.
15.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would say summer 2015. If I'm wrong, please comment how wrong I am. So it was a summer show, and it's called You Searching for a Drag Queen, and they brought local talent, local drag performers, fantastic, phenomenal. I mean, they were lovely and they were awesome to work with. So I want to say approximately our second week in, I was experiencing some technical issues with my sound equipment. Primarily, my sound source for all my sound cues and all my songs were housed in kind of an old, beat up Toshiba. So I had my playlist, everything, I had it connected to the aux, everything was ready to go and everything, right? So I'm over here, I'm gauging levels and everything, and I'm waiting. And at that time, I was on sound and Moy was on lights. We also had a shout out to Little Joel. He was doing projections. So it was him, it was me, Little Joel, and Moy. We were all in the sound booth, or in the booth. And all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Like I'll take responsibility for this. Just this, I accidentally had the auxiliary channel on. So I don't know what happened, but a song skipped a cue and went live. So randomly, like mid monologue, all of a sudden you just hear, "It's raining men, hallelujah," and like everyone's, what's going on? What was happening? And like I'm like, oh fuck, excuse me. I'm like, oh my god, no. So I'm like scrambling back here. Mo's like, looking at me like, what's going on, right? And something like that to happen in a production is kind of like a big thing. So I'm freaking out. Thank God for the local drag performers. They were fabulous. They came out and they started lip syncing, and it was a part of the show. They kept going on because the show must go on. All right, so I let the song end, and I paused it. I cut out that channel all completely, and later on the show kept going on. I don't know what happened. It was like the second half of the show. Next thing you know, I'm getting ready for a sound cue, and I'm ready. I'm on standby. Everybody's on standby for our next cue. So our next cue was for a song for a performer to come on and start lip syncing and start doing their dance routine and everything. And so it was, sound go, ready, boom, 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 go. Nothing happened. So I'm like, what's happening, guys? I don't know what's going on. The person on the stage, the person who was stage managing was just like, "Give me music right now!" And he was freaking out. And I'm like, "Hey man, I don't know what's going on. I'm experiencing technical difficulty. This and that." And the performers, how gracious as they are, they're screaming at me like, "Hey, what's going on, man? Like, what's happening? I need music. I need to do my routine." La, 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 la. Like they're incorporating it like it was a part of the show. In reality, the audience didn't know it was live. I couldn't get music to save my life on this thing, right? And my stage manager, he was losing his mind. So I'm freaking out. We ended up skipping that cue and kind of jumping, script. And at that time, I informed him, like stage manager, "Hey, the computer crapped out on me. Like I'm pushing it in front of Moy, like saying, 'Hey, you see, it's not going.' So he confirms, he lets him know, 'Hey, this computer crapped out on us. We have no music for the rest of the show.'" And that's a big thing, especially when you're doing something like production, like Deconstruction of a Drag Queen, who's heavily reliant on sound. So our plan was, we had 3 techs in the booth. We had 2 on spots on stage right and stage left, back of the house. And we also had some stage hands backstage. I had everybody in the booth. We took out all of our phones. We put it on airplane mode. We pulled up the rest of the track list. I literally had all of the phones in front of my soundboard ready to go with each and every song. So every time I muted the channel, plugged it in, and then played the song. Thank God I didn't get any advertisements or any commercials during each and every song. So every single part, every song that was performed by the performers, they nailed it. And luckily everything synced up. And after that, we threw that computer out. I'm not gonna lie, I got some, from the performers, I got some death threats. I got some death threats from the performance. I got some.
What? No.
Just like, like after I was leaving, I mean, and they didn't understand what was going on. It was a legit, issue. Like I remember I was striking the show, and like I had a couple performances. Listen, bitch, you better hurry. Next time I work with you, you better have your shit on point. I don't give a shit. I'm there. I'm just like, bro, you don't understand. Like I could drop you, by breathing on you. But it was all good fun. But that was probably, like, honestly, like one of the major behind the gap stories, one of the most memorable ones I can offer. I mean, there's probably a lot more that involves more cussing, but I apologize. But other than that, it's probably one of my most memorable moments I can give to you guys right now. But thank you guys for having me. I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, this was fun. I enjoyed it. You didn't fall out of your chair. You didn't choke.
Nope.
Laughing so much.
Nope.
Although I will tell this briefly about Joe. We were eating with Moy at a restaurant, and when Moy and myself were together, the worst thing you could do is answer a phone call.
Oh shit.
And there was one time we were eating, and Joe's significant other decides to call him, and Joe answers.
I'm so sorry, baby.
And we started. Moy and myself started doing the thing that we do is just be ourselves.
Idiots.
And Joe started laughing, and all I remember is like he starts laughing, and he's trying to explain what's going on, and all he says, "I'm gonna puke, it hurts," and he hung up the phone. She called him back so pissed off. No, that was
She's
good.
still with me today. She loves me, so we can go through anything.
Yeah.
She sends her love. She sends her support to you. She
Cool,
hopes
cool,
everything
man.
goes off.
Awesome.
To
I hope
Moy as
she's
well.
doing well.
She's doing very well. We're both happy. We're both, taking the next stage in life together. But other than that, we're happy. We support you. This is a great channel. Please subscribe, support, leave comments, positive, negative, whatever. We'll get back to you.
Wow. All right. Looks like I don't have to do my outro because Joe did it for me. We're good.
Bye. Da, 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 da.